It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd settles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, "Son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes." Sing us Welcome to 9 o'clock live at the Noun Square, number 252. First one of the week. It's Monday morning here, 7:07 a.m. 4 minutes, 53 seconds left on the NounsDAO auction for Noun 617, a beautiful piano head. How's everybody doing?
I'm all right.
Very well, sir. How do you do? How's the throat today?
Still getting over this cold, so I'm probably going to lean on you, Ben, to do most of the talking with Robot this morning, but I'm here, and that's what matters.
No problem.
That is what matters.
No problem.
But you know what? The only thing that matters more than being here is retweeting the room if you are here. So please do it. We've got about 4 minutes left on this auction. Maybe we'll just take another couple minutes to chill and vibe while we wait for people to join. But please retweet that room so they can join, so they can remember that we're here watching the end of the Nouns auction. And we're going to learn all about Prysm today. Prysm.xyz. I'm excited for that.
Only you could find a version of Piano Man that had this little piano in it.
Only you could prevent forest fires.
If you look up in the pinned tweets, you'll find the second from the left has a nomo-preview.vercel.app link. That is the preview interface where we have all three interfaces in one. So you can watch the end of the NounsDAO auction, you can play FOMO nouns, provided we don't get botted on it today, and then can play Nomo nouns all in one spot.
That sounds like a lot for one site. Are you sure?
Yeah.
One site can handle it?
I mean, it seems to be doing it. Are we going to get any more bids, though? 26.54. Someone's just knocked out stripymofo.eth, and it looks like without reloading.
Someone.
It's
someone, yeah.
Someone.
Yeah.
Will's grabbing
As
more and more
if we don't know whose wallet that is. Someone.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful... It's a beautiful noun, too. I like this guy.
I really like this one. We did get botted, but we got botted after about 15 minutes of playing FOMO, so...
Yeah. So for those who aren't aware, we've been getting botted by somebody for a while now, for a couple weeks, which means that when we want to play this game called FOMO to choose the noun of the day, a bot has just been taking over and instantly choosing the next noun, and we haven't gotten to play that game. So yesterday I said, forget it. We won't even play FOMO nouns, and then the bot didn't engage. So I don't even know what to say today. I'm assuming...
It's got some attitude or something, doesn't it? Or emotions. It's evolving.
Well, yeah, we said yesterday it might be like set up as an AI, and they're like, okay, we broke Toady.
Yeah.
Now we can play that.
That was the trigger to let us actually play FOMO, is when we broke Toady's spirit.
Everybody in the crowd, encourage Ben down there to bid again. That's Stripey Mofo down there. He was bidding
Stripey Mofo, please.
26.01. Stripey Mofo.
Do we want Will to have one more noun? Or do we want Ben to have one more noun?
Mia Familia, Ben. 1 minute, 17 seconds left in the auction, unless we get another bid. We do have Thomas Scaria here from Prysm. Thomas, just to let you know, it's a weird show we do here. We play a little game to choose the next noun of the day before we dig into the meat and potatoes. So I appreciate you joining us here, and hopefully you can come and play with us as well. You can either click that link that Ben mentioned up in the nest, or you can go to fomonouns.wtf.
in about 50 seconds and help us choose, hopefully, the next noun of the day. Are you down, Thomas?
I'm super down. I'm trying to understand how to play this game.
So I can tell you. So basically, once the auction is finished in about a little over 30 seconds, we're going to go to fomonouns.wtf. And for anybody who doesn't know, when you're on this site, fomonouns.wtf, or if you're on nomo-preview.vercel.app, depending on which interface you're using, you're going to see a bunch of nouns come across the screen. And once the auction is over, a thumbs up and a thumbs down button are going to appear. If you like the noun, thumbs it up. If you don't like the noun, thumbs it down. Preferably thumbs it down so that we can push the auction a little bit later in the day. But
5, 4,
that's basically all we're doing.
3, 2,
Thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't.
1.
We're playing.
fomonouns.wtf. Let's go.
We are playing.
And hopefully, so for the last couple of weeks, we've been getting botted, so it doesn't look like we are so far. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there's a bot. Oh, well, we might not get to play.
Engaged.
Oh, wait.
We fended it off on the first
We fended it off for one, but...
We're going to get the carrot clock.
Apparently, it's carrot time.
The carrot clock nice on the shoe.
On gunk.
This is perfect.
I don't know. I kind of liked ETH Pump. I kind of wish we got that instead.
ETH Pump. Yeah, ETH Pump would have been perfect. But this is perfect for our announcement today that we are changing the name of the show to Carrot O'Clock.
All right, so now if you're already on that preview app, then you can see the Nomo nouns, and this is the last 30 blocks of the nouns that could have been. So now we get to pick our favorites here too, with as many clicks as possible. And if you're not on the preview app, then go to nomo.wtf, Nomo.wtf.
Nomo.wtf.
I'm going for fried green tomato ketchup.
Your character that you want to save. I can't help but try to save Ethereum Pump.
Do you need a wallet connected to be able to play
ETH
this
Pump.
one?
Yeah, you do need your wallet connected, so make sure it's connected. And when you find your favorite noun,
and
just spam click it.
Somebody
has already been disqualified for mashing. Incredible.
Oh my god.
What did you do?
Let me
yesterday.
Well, no, it shouldn't have done it again automatically.
Do you have mice?
Have you been banned from Nomo?
I think I've been banned for good. Let me get
Ban Nomo. Ban Nomo.
All right, I'm going to save the rainbow.
Oh, I do like this. I like the clock wearing wearing Patricia's suit.
Yeah, that is cool.
I really like that one. I
did save the rainbow.
I'm going to try the Patricio clock. It's POAP time. That's
doing. Don't let Ethereum pump down.
I like the helicopter.
Who's not voting
but what about? We even have a sound for this one.
That is good, isn't it? Let's try and bring it up. Can we get it back in the lead? Come on, let's do it. Yeah! I got it right at the end.
Oh, you guys.
This is a good face-off. I can't decide now because I really like co-founder.
Ooh.
Another player.
Ooh, somebody else got disqualified.
That's my second wallet. Something's going on. I must have left the script running.
Why are you botting Nomo?
I was testing it yesterday to see if it did ban
Hell yeah.
for superhuman mashing, but I don't recall. I didn't leave it in there at all. What the hell?
You better talk to Volky.
Yeah,
Ben's just built different.
I don't know what like the entire point of this game is to rescue nouns that were Nomo, and you guys did not rescue the only noun that was not Nomo. I don't understand you guys.
But
technically all of these we missed.
We got two clocks though. We got the two watches, which is amazing. Like the noun and the Nomo. They look good together. That's
right. Because you know what? Who watches the watch? That's what I always say.
Yeah, the other watch now.
We needed a second one. Thomas.
Double time.
You're probably pretty confused by FOMO, and that's because some jerk with no friends has been running a bot to ruin the game. So if you didn't understand FOMO, that's completely understandable because it didn't work the way it's supposed to. So we didn't really get to choose a noun. It just kind of botted and we got what we got.
It forced us.
I'm very lost but excited about the energy.
I like it.
He's a little confused, but he got the spirit.
Yeah. But Nomo nouns we created as a way to still have a game to play, and and divert that energy somewhere productive, even if we're getting botted. So thank you for playing Nomo with us. If you want to mint this beautiful business watch noun, Patricio clock, you can do so for 0.069 ETH. To remember you were here, enter yourself into our daily Nomo draw and more. So, Ben, I'm going to hand it over to you, and you can give us a little background on Prysm and get into it here with our guest.
Sure, yeah. So, Prysm, Tom actually reached out to us on Twitter talking about Prysm and the possibilities of using the platform with Ugly DAO because from what I understand, it's essentially some fancy multi-sig architecture for communities to collect and create together. If I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but we'll find out in a moment. And yeah, it's basically to co-own NFTs. So like at the moment, I know there's a bunch of us here that share NFTs together, whether they're nouns or builder tokens or anything else we've collected. And we typically just use a safe multi-sig to do that. And then tooling wise, there's not a lot of tooling in terms of handling governance and things like that. So I'm curious to kind of find out some of the benefits of using a platform like Prysm for that kind of a setup where we would technically pool some money together and then buy tokens together and how we can then manage them using Prysm. So hopefully that was a good intro, Thomas. And you're welcome to the show. Hopefully that was fun. And we can get into the details.
Yeah, fantastic intro. Really, I think you actually nailed the what is Prysm better than I can. So I don't have too much to add than that, but if I could, what we really built is a what we call a co-ownership framework that makes it really easy for groups to go from 0 to 100 nouns owned by 100 people, right? So how that works is, let's say you're embarking on this journey and trying to piece together like a multi-sig and maybe Google Sheets to track a cap table. Maybe a dev is launching a token. Maybe you're using Wallet Connect to go into the nouns interface and buy the noun. All of that.
I'm in this picture and I don't like it.
Yes, it's a terrible fragmented flow. You're going to run into all sorts of compatibility issues, and that's the heart of the problem we're solving. So we're a one-stop shop where you could do all of that in a seamless UI UX and experience, but still have the safety of being built on top of Gnosis Safe. And the really cool part about Prysm is the framework allows for continuous growth of these groups. So let's say you're a squad that's 10 people that start out by pulling together 30 Ethereum, 40 Ethereum or so with the mission of buying a noun. Let's say you accomplish that mission by buying a noun that really vibes with the brand identity of the group, and you start kind of like flexing that brand on Twitter, and it attracts more people to your ideology. What the framework allows you to do is you can actually like revalue the assets. Well, in this case, it's just the one DAO, and if you're appreciated in value or down in value, you can revalue it. And as your kind of like lore behind the group grows, and you're attracting new members, right? And since you set a new valuation, you can actually go and accept those members into the cap table, accept their funds as well, and refine your mission maybe from buying one noun into the second noun that you want to purchase, and you can kind of like continuously grow over time. And that's something really unique to what we have built. And the big problem if you're doing this without Prysm is you're managing like a cap table and all the valuations on Excel, and you're launching those tokens right on chain. Instead, all of that's just automated. you, instead of tokens, we're printing out membership NFT cards that have not only the equity of the group, but also really fun stuff. Like it's effectively your on-chain portable social profile for the group. So has your like role and like how long you've been there, any like achievements, if you're like a frequent voter or signer that's pushing through these transactions, it's all there. So that's what we built, and I think it really aligns with the values of what Noun stands for. So that's why I'm so pumped to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I think, that's like Tody mentioned before, it's a pain point for anyone that's co-owning NFTs, especially in the Nouns ecosystem where there's governance attached to these tokens. And with a group of us, you need to set up something to handle that governance, whether you're just doing simple emoji Discord, voting in Discord kind of thing, or if you set up like a snapshot or something like that to do it. So I'm curious how you would handle the governance aspect using Prysm.
Great question. So the governance aspect, how we handle it is when you there's like multiple parts of the governance flow. The first thing you probably do is you're just like talking with your squad about what you want to purchase, and you simply just need to like up and down vote things. And what we have is a Discord bot that takes all of the roles and data on Prysm and brings it to Discord. So you can like kind of auto sync those roles, which is kind of like a sub problem if you're trying to use Discord as a sidecar to any sort of co-ownership activity you're doing, which is typically the case. So once you have your roles and not only that, the equity and the membership cards of all the members on Discord, what we allow you to do is launch weighted polls on Discord. And these weighted polls can be used to vote on nouns as you're kind of like curating them and making the initial decision if what you want to purchase. And then also when you want to purchase a noun, you can launch another weighted poll that's a little bit more serious in the sense that that's a decision that's going to be ultimately pushed on chain by the signers of the multisig.
Epic. That sounds awesome. I think that's hugely beneficial. I think any kind of streamlining the process is definitely a good one. Curious about the submitting proposals. Would you still just connect using Wallet Connect, or is there some kind of built-in system to submit proposals to a DAO where you own the governance tokens?
So let's see. Is this for purchasing a noun or for kind of like all the other
Well, yes,
a lot of like the basic proposals?
Well, like if we owned nouns and then we wanted to submit a proposal to NounsDAO on behalf of our crew that co-owns those nouns to get funding for something that we're working on, typically we would then just connect our wallet to nouns.wtf and then click submit proposal on the DAO's page, and then we would just put the title, description, and then any transactions attached to the proposal, and then submit it there then it will be up for voting by other token holders as well. I was just curious if that flow has been built into Prysm as well.
Gotcha. So the whole nouns governance dashboard.
Yeah, essentially, because I think especially with nouns.build at the moment, like a lot of people can just spin up a DAO quite easily now. So I think over the coming years, we're going to see a lot more DAO structures that are based on the same thing as nouns at the moment. And, I think co-owning a lot of these different tokens, if there was, say we've got a group here and we own governance tokens at 9 different Nounish DAOs where we can submit proposals and vote on proposals. Currently, we need to go to all these different websites and connect to do that. And I see huge value in any kind of aggregation tool that allows us to kind of manage that from a single platform. And if it happened to be something like Prysm, where it's built with the Gnosis Safe underlying, I think that seems to be a kind of a perfect solution in my mind.
Yeah. So how that would work today is you would have to wallet connect using Prysm into these interfaces, these dashboards where you're submitting the votes. And much like Gnosis Safe, when you would do that, it gets surfaced on Prysm as what we call a generic proposal. And unlike Gnosis Safe, it's not going to just it's going to be human readable, right? Like we could parse the metadata behind the on-chain transaction that you're trying to make multiplayer, and put all the relevant like pictures and like the human readable actual transaction there, and you could do all of that directly on Prysm. How we could take this one step further, and we've done this for other communities like Apes, and working on something for Meme Land as well, and we've done this in the past for Moonbirds nesting. Is we've made custom dashboards where you don't have to leave Prysm, and you can launch proposals, what we call community proposals, on our native dashboards to interact with these other ecosystems without ever wallet connecting and leaving the platform.
Awesome. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, and as we kind of like get working together, we're happy to do something like that for Nouns. It's actually not as difficult as you'd think to build something out like that for us.
Amazing. That's amazing news. There is another question I have about all of this. Is there a cost to using the platform?
Yeah. So bad news is we're venture backed. Good news is that means we're not charging fees right now. They want us to focus a little bit on other things like maintaining our product market fit and improving that and growth and things like that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's similar kind of approach, I guess, to Utopia, right? Like Utopia Labs, where they've built a framework on top of Gnosis Safe. Am I understanding that correctly? It's built on Gnosis Safe, so you could technically still use Gnosis interface or app with the same wallet that you've got with Prysm.
Yeah, if our entire team died in a tragic plane crash or something, it's still a Gnosis Safe, and you would still have access to everything that you're doing through Gnosis.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds really cool, and I love seeing these new frameworks and platforms pop up. Like we've been using Utopia Labs for bulk transactions and treasury management stuff for a little while, and it's super nice to have kind of another layer of tooling on top of the regular Gnosis Safe offering. So I guess I just want to get to the next part.
That actually,
sorry, go on then.
That answers my question too, Ben. Because my first question about this, when you brought it up, was are we custodying our nouns with Prysm? And no offense to Prysm, but if you just don't know a company that well, everyone kind of knows Gnosis Safe. It's a trusted wallet, etc. So, if I understand correctly, this will still end up in a Gnosis Safe. So the custody is still the same. This is just sort of a dashboard that sits on top. Is that correct?
That's correct. We don't have any of our own smart contracts or anything like that. Even the membership cards that you're issuing on chain, technically that's a smart contract, but how we handle all the equity tracking is in a somewhat Web 2 way that's also printed on chain, and then you're issuing these membership cards. But outside of that, we don't have any smart contracts, and your assets are always going to be on Nose to Safe. If you feel that the equity tracking is broken in some way, then you could always export an Excel sheet of the cap table and manage that yourself on Google Sheets if you needed to. But the more important part is the assets, and they're always on Nose to Safe.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's definitely, it will settle the minds of many people who are very protective over their tokens, and it's something they don't have to think twice about when you know Gnosis already. You're kind of like, well, we can try this platform on top and at no cost as well. That's what's the harm in doing so? So I think our original discussion was more about doing like a demo tooling call and sort of displaying this to UglyDAO, and I was kind of like, let's go on the show, because I feel like on here we can, this gets recorded and we'll probably get at least a few hundred listens over the coming days. So I think that's a beneficial presentation to let people know about Prysm, and I think we should still organize to do a tooling call, whether it's a TNS tooling call or we do it in UglyDAO server or Nounsel, or because Nounsel actually used to do tooling calls. Shout out Sasquatch. He used to do these after the Nounsel calls, where he would find people like yourself who, founders of platforms, and then come and do demos for everyone. So that's actually how I found out about Utopia Labs, and saw lots of good tooling demos by doing that. And, I think it's a really beneficial thing to offer the community. So, let's organize that for sometime in the coming days, and we can, get the links out there and invite the community to come and watch how it might be used in a specific use case. I think that'll be fun.
We'd absolutely love that. Yeah. Again, we're so just excited about getting in front of Nouns. I think we're both building out this really interesting intersection of community, culture, and ownership. And a lot of the same theses that you have around, let's call it like circular culture and decentralized media, and the different kind of like basically how culture is created is just way different, and it's all done with groups and communities that are reflexively like creating this culture, growing their lore, attracting new members, which again like kind of furthers the culture and the cultural output. So that's a model that we're trying to enable, not only at like NounsDAO scale, but with like squads, right? Which as you all know, Nouns is composed of hundreds and thousands of squads, right? And you want to make them culturally productive as well, and that's what our platform allows you to do. So super excited to talk more about this, and would love to do a demo.
Can you take us through? Say someone just has a group chat right now. They've got 10 people, and they were sort of talking about buying some NFTs together. What's the process of them becoming a Prysm squad?
The process looks like this. There's typically a group leader. All these groups have either one or two or multiple group leaders. A group of 10, I would postulate, has about two, maybe three. One of those group leaders would rally the rest of the squad to figure out an initial mission. Like, what do we want to do? Do we want to just buy this noun? Okay, who are we? We like cheese or something like that. We're spotting that this cheesehead kind of like noun that's in auction. I think we should form funds and quickly bid on this auction within the next few hours. So with that initial mission, this group leader can rally these 10 people in the group chat, get started on Prysm, where you go through our flow and create, we call it a vault, but it's a Gnosis safe on the platform. And you open what we call a funding round, which is our proposal. All of this happens through a proposal system, which is like a way to make a multiplayer transaction and vote on it together. So you initiate a funding rounds proposal, you send out a link to the Discord chat, and these 10 people will contribute, let's call it like 3 Ethereum each. And you close the funding round. Everyone owns everyone contributed the same amount, same like Ethereum. So you would end up with a cap table that's equally split. You can optionally mint these membership cards to represent your equity on chain. If not, you could just look at the pretty picture of it on our platform and be comfortable with the fact that all the equity is tracked on our backend. And what you do next is, now that you have formed the resources to purchase the noun, you launch a proposal on the platform to bid on the noun. So what you would do is launch what we call a DApp proposal, which is a flow to use wallet connect and initiate any sort of arbitrary proposal. So you wallet connect into the Nouns app, and you make your bid. And at that point, I forget actually if nouns you have to bid with WETH or ETH. I believe it's ETH, correct?
Yeah, just ETH. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay. If it wasn't, we do have a proposal to swap from bid to ETH to WETH natively on the platform. So now you've made your bid. Let's just say you won. So now you have this cheesehead noun. And what's really cool about the platform is you can actually, we have a portfolio tracker as well with live pricing from based on floor, based on appraisals that we get from NFT Bank and Upshot. So this portfolio, you can see the live pricing as you log in and see the charts and stuff, which is really cool. And see everyone's like equity ownership stake like change over time. And so you've accomplished your initial mission, and maybe you'll start a Twitter account, or maybe you won't, or maybe you just send out a tweet or something, and some other people might get interested in growing the group chat and joining the group chat. So then it's kind of up to you as a group if you want to grow, or if you want to keep this thing like the group and the brand and everything like that a little bit more intimate, and then you take it from there. But if you want to grow, you can open another funding round with a new valuation of the noun. You can select whatever valuation you want. It doesn't have to be the price we suggest from the appraisal platforms or anything like that. You just come to consensus on that valuation, and then you rinse and repeat, right? You can add 3 more each and go after another noun.
That's awesome. I have a question regarding how that process might look for like any kind of pre-squad, like a current crew that owns NFTs already in a safe. Can we just plug straight into Prysm and start using the tools with the existing safe, or would we have to set up a new one and transfer, or how does that get handled?
Yeah. So long story short is you can import a safe into the platform. What is a little bit more difficult to import is your existing cap table. But we do have a tool that allows you to do that. But the assumption is you kind of know what everyone's ownership stake is. If you don't, it becomes a little bit difficult. It's a lot of just like financial math to figure out everyone's like pro forma equity stake after all the transactions that you've made over time. But our team can figure that out. So long story short, depending on how clean you've been managing that group, it could be easy. If it hasn't been managed, like the cap table hasn't been managed as cleanly, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But our team is always happy to help. You just have to actually open up a customer support ticket, and we could take care of that.
Amazing. I mean, it all just sounds too perfect. And I loved what you were saying before about the community aspect, because for so long in this space, everyone's raving about community, and for the most part, that just meant you were getting heaps of retweets and comments on your NFT tweets because you just bought some NFT.
You mean there are things to community that aren't retweets on post? Ben,
it's crazy, right?
How dare you?
I know, and it's just been like that was the breath of fresh air that I was looking for when I stumbled across Nouns, and it was like, this is actual community. This is people that I want to get to know and want to work with and build stuff together. And I haven't left. Like, good luck getting rid of me. So I think.
Wait, you guys are getting friends?
I think I found at least one. So, but yeah, I think it's a really important part.
Please let it be me. Please let it be me.
It's Cardinal.
That's a good thing.
Look, I mean, a lot of us are here. That's the crazy thing. We just automatically, like, we start building stuff together and working together, and then hanging out every day. Like, I feel like I've gotten to know all these PFPs more than I know people IRL, and that's crazy.
Even Woody's here.
Yeah.
And it's really early.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about that.
Is this alpha? Is this alpha right
Why
now?
are you here?
Getting up in time now.
It's not quite alpha. It's
Can you please record the entire Greek alphabet, robot?
Okay.
But yeah, and like calling it a squad, that's really cool as well. I think it's a good name for the crew of people doing this stuff together. And I think it's like, obviously the interface is going to be quite easy to use and understand, and handle all of these different aspects in one spot, which I love. And especially that cap table aspect, because so far it's kind of like, let's just all throw in an equal amount so that it's easy to track. We own this thing, so like, price goes up or down, everyone kind of wins or loses equally in terms of equity. And
that was our cap table hack at Ugly.
Yeah. We'll just do exactly the same. Yeah. So I think, that's going to be nice. Like with Ugly DAO specifically, though, when we bought the second Noun, there's a different amount of owners, and has a different structure and setup. So we may be jumping into a support ticket, and just to try and get that all cleaned up.
Yeah.
And it's
definitely. Yeah, and I think the cap table is important because ultimately, you may end up making distributions. There's always a case where some member wants to rage quit and things like that, and that's all handled within the platform as well.
Yeah, 100%. There's actually someone that doesn't necessarily want to rage quit, just is sort of like not so active and kind of
just a regular quit.
Yeah, just a regular wants to jump out and it isn't like raging about it at all. Just sort of like, hey, does anyone want to take my piece?
Respectable quit.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously that would become easier too, and also onboarding new members, like you mentioned earlier, which is something that I think, without having a platform like this, may actually be holding these communities back from growth and back from innovation and creating new things. The potential for adjusting the people and grabbing more, because each time you get more tokens, if it's a different amount, then suddenly you've got a different
thing to track. And I think having a platform like this is actually super beneficial.
Yeah, what we really want to enable is this stratification of these like decentralized media universes, like nouns, where we want more ugly DAOs to form, more shark DAOs to form, and the hundreds of squad wallets that are within each of these DAOs, right? And they're going to be the well springs of they're effectively like little engines for culture to propagate like the central lore behind nouns. And as this grows, all of those groups are going to grow. And I think that the growth and is not necessarily something each group wants. A lot of squad wallets just want to stay intimate and maintain the vibes and things like that, and that's totally fine. And we want to accommodate that as well. But if you really want like a brand to grow, and we work with Proof, Moonbirds, Memeland, like a lot of these communities, and have already partnered with them. So the continuous part of the framework was just very crucial for us to solve from day one. And as soon as we did that, we had like immediate product market fit.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Something that I've actually thought about and worked on to some degree in the initial idea phases and stuff is Nouns Nations. And it's kind of around the idea that you can form a group together and bid on nouns together. And once you you form a group, or you advertise that you want other people to join your group, what we call nations, you basically purchase access to that group, and you get your passport to be able to then control the noun that you've won at auction. So there's an auto bidder, and then it goes to the treasury and then uses the federation contracts, which is at federation.wtf, to handle all of the voting and governance and everything. I can see a use case here where this just plugs right into that concept. And I feel like I'm going to have a bit more of an in-depth chat to you about that one a bit later, because that's it seems like such a powerful platform to kind of automate that setup from creating the groups and then managing that governance aspect as well, where this has extra tooling around. You could do that with multiple different places. So I think that's super powerful.
I'm curious, Ben. One question for you, and I have seen this in the nouns community through platforms like Prop House. When groups are owning nouns together, our thesis is that leads also to co-creation, where they're taking like that and like what they sort of own. They're excited about that noun, and then they put it in a story, right? And they are launching some form of like media together with that, and the end goal might just be to meme the shit out of it and have fun. But another goal could be to like monetize that media, which ends up growing like the central storyline for nouns. Do you see a lot of that behavior, and how do you think about like co-ownership potentially fitting in as a bridge to co-creation?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge platform for that kind of thing. In Ugly DAO's circumstances, I think the way we built it was mainly with people that are already building or working on things, some together and some separately already. So it wasn't necessarily to start building things together. But in saying that, some of us already were, and there's a few people that didn't really have anything they were working on yet. So this was like their way to do that. So it's kind of a big mishmash of different goals when it comes to that aspect. But absolutely see this kind of platform as a way for people to start building together and collaborating on things, because it gives people with an idea the tooling to pull funds together accurately and trustlessly, and then start to participate in any of these ecosystems. So, for example, whether it's 2 people or 10 or 100, you can all kind of agree, okay, we're going to throw in some money, we're going to get some nouns, and we want to build this thing. So now we need to submit a proposal. We'll work on a proposal to NounsDAO together, submit it to get some funding, and then fund that crew to start building something together. And I think it's a great catalyst to handle that whole process, for sure.
It's something that we're thinking about launching more and more features for. So we have a version of this. Like if you could potentially launch your group without the equity tracking, and then we have ways to make payments to people too, which are typically like what co-creation entails. There's some folks that are contributing to the project that are need some sort of remuneration. You make mass payments and things like that too. We haven't exactly made it so obvious that that's a use case on the platform. So, but I'm seeing the behavior everywhere, and it's been happening for a bit of time. I think there's a broader narrative of people not necessarily wanting to like buy things during the bear market, but build together. So something we're thinking a lot about, and it's definitely on the roadmap to bring that out on the product side a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I see this as a level of DAO structure. If you can basically create some form of DAO using this kind of thing without needing, like my favorite DAO structure is obviously NounsDAO. But in saying that, I'm involved in, and multiple people here involved in different versions of a DAO where, we're obviously all decentralized and handling the management of the treasury using a safe and things like that. So, there's nothing to say we can't have all these different DAO structures for different aspects. It's kind of like starting a business and having different business structures to suit the company, whether it's going to be one type of corporation or another type, or you're just a sole trader, or however it's set up based on the needs of that idea or concept. I think, different tooling will appeal to different people as more and more people come to the ecosystem and start to build decentralized businesses, essentially. And yeah, like you said, having tooling to handle, treasury management, staff payments, and payouts, as well as, this co-ownership aspect of the treasury. I think that's something that's going to be very valuable to a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need more of that too. We need, 4156 has mentioned that his vision for nouns is to have every noun be a nation one day. So in order for that to happen, people need to organize more around purchasing nouns and governing together and building together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, where, having spoken about the nations concept with Ripe and working on the ideas for that, I think, this coupled with federation for voting aspects and stuff, I think is an insanely powerful model for building exactly that, building nations out where, the groups are essentially purchasing a noun as their nation and or for their nation, creating this new borderless group of people from all over the world that have come together for a common interest or for, a common goal in business or in creativity or, whatever the niche might be. I think, this seems to be a super powerful platform for that. I'm getting more and more excited about using this. The more we talk about it, it's crazy.
I love hearing Ben hype himself up about things. It's my favorite genre of the Noun Square. Is Ben talking about a thing after
And-
most of an interview's over and just getting progressively more hyped?
And then by the end of it, I've clicked all the buttons. I'm like, hopefully this wasn't a
yeah.
scam. I've clicked it all.
And by the end, he's banned on Nomo on 2 different wallets. Like,
Yeah, how does that even happen? Oh my god.
Thomas is going to have a staff meeting later, and they'll be like, how did it go? I don't know. This Ben guy just sold himself. I didn't have to tell him anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I have finished typing the thing up. I think I've asked all my questions that I was curious about and have come up throughout the conversation. So I guess
If
yeah,
anyone
has
on the
anyone else
stage
got
has
questions? Yeah.
or if you're in the audience, don't be shy. Come on up stage. Happy to
Yeah, or
bring you up.
drop them in the chat, even down in the bottom corner. If you haven't retweeted yet, retweet. We've still got time.
Yeah, I've got a quick question. It's regarding like, who do you see as your competitors in this field, or your rivals, so to speak, and if there are any, like, what makes you different to them, sort of thing?
Good question. There are some lookalikes. I think Syndicate and Partybid are lookalikes, but our visions for the world and how our frameworks and models kind of work are completely different. So Syndicate is a little how do I phrase this? They're very like investment club focused. And they have a model that's very much like it's an SPV model for a one-time cap table where it's like Angel List, right? You're grouping together money. You may not necessarily even know everyone in that group, and you're putting together those funds into startup equity, some sort of like early stage deal, sometimes like an NFT. But that doesn't happen that much on the platform, and they actually offload all of the user experience to Gnosis Safe. So you do the initial like fundraise and issuance of tokens on Syndicate, but then if you want to go actually purchase something that's off the platform, very different from our values of well, first of all, having like that continuous framework where it's not a one-time cap table. Two, we really want to go after these use cases where you're coming in with an intimate group, and then three, the continuous nature of what we're building and the focus on NFTs and things like that. Another lookalike is Partybid, but Partybid is really focused on not necessarily groups of friends that have come in with a social connection, but they built a lot of like trustless tools so that you can like just drop a link to a party bid and collect like 1,000 contributors from completely random people towards one NFT. And they don't and that's a little different from us for several reasons. We really are focused on this atomic unit of the squad and groups and communities that really know each other already. And then two, Partybid doesn't allow you to purchase multiple NFTs or add new people to the cap table as you grow. So it's very different from our kind of like way of doing things. And from a vision standpoint, but Partybid is very NFT first, right? Whereas we're group first. We really think these groups are going to be the new well springs of culture, not only consuming culture, but curating it, collecting it, and then creating it. And that ultimately is going to attract new people to the group. There's going to be remixes of that group, aka like sub communities that spin out, that end up being another engine for culture. And that circular way culture is produced is very akin to the circular kind of like co-ownership framework and that life cycle that you go through, where you grow your lore and you attract new members, and then you kind of like form more funds and capital to keep going. And all of that's just like very different. And I think our missions and visions for the world are just not the same. So I don't really view either of those as competitors, but I think for the uninitiated, we may look similar.
Yeah, that makes sense. Appreciate the response. And just to echo what Ben said as well, thanks for coming up and sharing what you've been up to. It sounds really exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So could you do like an inception kind of a thing? Like if we had an existing NFT that a group purchased together, you were talking about sub community of that, right? So could we take one of those and let's say it's a CryptoPunk, for example, to kind of get away from nouns. Like if we had 5 people buy a CryptoPunk, but then we had a group of friends that didn't want to invest as much as the 5, and we took one of the 5 and like partitioned it off into a sub thing, and it was like much cheaper, and like a group of people owned that piece, so they could feel like they were a part of the group, and the lore, excuse me, the lore and things that you were talking about. Is that something that's possible, or is that something that's like on your mind?
So just a clarifying question. So 5 people, they have purchased the CryptoPunk, and then they want to sort of like fractionalize the CryptoPunk and sell 40% of it to another group.
Yeah, I would even say like, say people get together, there's 5 of them, and they want to sort of get one of those pieces to a sub community that might be, you know, people that more or less want to pay 0.25 rather than like 2.5 or something like that. So is that something that's in your brain of like building a community based on fractionalized ownership of yes, it's a CryptoPunk, but you're buying into like the lore and the group of people that own it and the community that owns it, etc.
If I'm following correctly, all of that can be done on the platform or by wallet connecting into Fractional. What it sounds like is very similar to, well, it's not exactly similar, but it's a chip off that block of what we've done with Deadbird Society and in Moonbirds. So they are the skeleton trait social club within Moonbirds, and they started out just hanging out on the Discord. It was a pretty exclusive club, and they started collecting all the skeleton trait Moonbirds and created all this lore around it, this brand, started memeing it on Twitter, and that trait got more valuable. They attracted more members. And but at the same time, like the appreciation of that trait and the lore started kind of like going against one of their values. They weren't necessarily trying to be just exclusive. They wanted to extend out a little bit more access to folks in that community. So what they did is launch their own collection that was a remix of of Deadbird Society and all of the traits that they've collected, all the IP, if you will, that they own. And this collection was much larger. It was 666, if I recall correctly, of unique NFTs, and there was a mint event that was much more affordable, and that mint event got those people as part of Deadbird Society without owning a without owning a skeleton trait Moonbird. So that was really, really cool, and it's very akin to what you're talking about. If you're talking about fractionalizing a CryptoPunk and selling, or having 40% of it maybe divested to a smaller community, that can also happen on the platform by wallet connecting to Fractional and doing all that, and maybe just like starting a second vehicle that is funded by the first vehicle, and then you add some other owners at a lower price. Like that's all possible. It's a little complicated, like from tracking all that.
No, that's
or,
awesome.
Designing all that, but it's possible.
It was definitely the Moonbirds example what you were saying.
Okay.
I think that's great. Like having people be able to have a point of entry into a community like that. I guess it's like a sub community, right? Of like a specific lore or group of people, or if it's an alpha group or whatever, the list goes on. But I think that's a really important part of the overall culture. If you look at, even like cyberkongs or something like that, how they have derivative projects that allow you essentially access to their community, or maybe like less bananas, or I don't know the specifics of it, but not everybody can afford these big, even nouns, right? Like not everybody can afford these things, and to open up the gates and allow people in like that is a really cool feature overall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That kind of brings me like right back into the middle of that. The possibility for, if a group has bought something for 10 ETH and they've all paid 1 ETH each, and there's 10 people, but then we're like, let's onboard 40 new people to own portions of that same one, and it's still just valued at 10 ETH for ease of maths here. So technically, there's going to be 50 people, and the original 10 could potentially just raise money for that whole 50 people, and then it's split between the 50 people with new membership NFTs issued for the new breakdown of the cap table, I guess. Is that a possibility, or would you recommend just using fractional to do something like that?
So you're just expanding the cap table from the initial 10 people to 50, and then the 50 people are contributing a smaller amount?
Well, just the 40 new ones. So the original 10 owners that put in 1 ETH each, then say you've got 40 new owners that are like, we only want to put in like 0.1. So that's going to raise 4
right.
ETH. So you've got a 40% buyout essentially from 40 new people. So the original 10 owners would own 60% still, but 40 new people would own 40% of it.
So in that case, you'd be giving away some of the value to the new people on the cap table that did contribute like a very minute amount.
Yeah, basically just
Correct?
basically at the same value as what it is and what everyone put in, but just opening it up to, like, technically when there was a 10 ETH purchase and 10 slots and you paid 1 ETH each, that worked out easily. But then you've got 40 new people that want to get these 40 new slots. So you've now got the original 10 people would still own 60% because the new 40 have bought in, like they've added 4 ETH to the original owners kind of thing.
Makes sense. The math would be a little bit different. 4 out of 14, not 4 out of 10. But from if I'm following correctly, but yes, that's all possible. That's very core to what we do. I mean,
on this episode of asking Thomas very specific questions.
God damn it.
On the Noun Square.
That's all. That's what we do.
Welcome back to the Noun Square Technical Hour.
I thought we got raided by a mariachi band there for a second. I was
I will play mariachi metal. Don't test me.
Bringing the funk for a second.
Yeah.
It's also 5:10 in a.m. where I live right now in San Francisco. So I'm like, I need to do math right now.
Sorry about that.
But very simply, yes, you could do that. You could even, if, for instance, let's say you really wanted to accommodate these folks and get them even more ownership for some reason, right? That could just be the culture of the group. What you could do is in your valuation process, when you're opening up the next round, if you will, where you're pulling together funds and adding members, you could value that noun below 10 ETH, right? I don't think we said we were purchasing a noun at 10 ETH wouldn't make sense, but you get what I'm saying. You'd value the NFT at 6, right? And then you can add those add that next 4 ETH, and then they would end up with 40% if you were feeling generous, and that was kind of like the group, like the vibe for the group. And you come up with that valuation by making a multiplayer decision where all the signers need to agree and things like that. So you're not like there's no like attack vector there. So all of that's possible, and our system is very flexible to allow you to do things like that.
I do have one more question if we have time for one more. I guess I'm the host, so
Yeah.
yes, we have time.
Do we have time, Tony?
Thomas, I'm curious if one of these groups or squads wanted to curate their membership, which I'm sure happens quite often. How does it work with the memberships in terms of controlling that rage quit so that someone can't just sell it to someone that doesn't fit the culture of the group, for example?
It is a pretty controlled experience. So our membership cards are ERC 721s, but they are heavily inspired by the Soulbound standard. What that means is that the group administrators, the signers of the multisig, need to come to a decision when to exit and who to exit. So the member can propose an exit proposal, but then
so it's more like a rage beg then.
yeah. Typically what these groups do is they have policies, right? They have like rules that they set out either when they said embarked on this mission, or when they hit some sort of scale, or when this event happens, they come to a decision on like, okay, how do we handle these situations now and going forward? And typically like you're discussing it within the group, and if everyone's aligned that this quit scenario is okay, then a proposal is proposed. You sort of like vote on it, and then the administrators of the group push through that proposal, and then the exit happens. So you can't just like leave. Our system doesn't allow you to do that. It all goes through the proposal system.
You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave.
there's
Prysm.xyz.
some groups where you can never leave, and that's just like their rule, right? So it's not out of the question.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah. Let's get back to some housekeeping stuff, and I just want to thank you for coming on, Thomas.
Back at the ranch.
Meanwhile,
yeah, it's been a great conversation. I love this platform. I think it's very suitable for this community and the multiple groups within this community who are looking to buy tokens together and have already bought tokens together. I think we're going to have a bit of a deep dive in terms of testing it all out and having some fun with it. Looking forward to doing the demo.
Yeah, I can't wait to do the demo. The demo sells itself, to be honest. Like we're such a great, not to toot our own horn, but the one thing we care about is product and user feedback, and we have such a great engine and team to do that. What we're not good at is marketing. I think we struggle with just like people just not knowing that we exist. So thanks for this opportunity to like present. Yeah, present this to the community. Before you guys feel rugged in any way, I just want to also announce that we are rebranding and renaming to Lore. You actually heard it here first on this Twitter Spaces.
Amazing. Love it.
Yeah, that's coming out next Tuesday. So the brand is going to look dope, and I think the name needs no explanation. I think you guys all just get it.
Yeah.
So look out for that, and it's going to be so cool. I've been working on this project with our designer and an agency for like 6 months. So this is the first step of our team getting better at marketing. so yeah, look out for that next week.
Pro tip: bring a mariachi band. That usually helps.
Yeah, a mariachi band that's actually a funk band that Tony thinks is a mariachi band. That's the peak.
Okay. Well, we all can't be music majors, Robot Fish Girl. Speaking of housekeeping, we do have quite a few different things to go over here. So
we do.
We've got to make sure we get through all of them. Let's start with we're gonna have a POAP. Robot Fish Girl.
We can have a POAP.
We're going to do a retweet picker. So if you haven't retweeted the room for this space, do that now. We're going to give away 0.069 ETH to one person who retweets the room. And then I think we're going to draw attention to this. I'm going to repin it so that it's the most recent pin. But we do have a contest going on right now for the last, 4 hours of Meshup's first ever NounsDAO proposal created special edition, the Meta Square, which was minted as part of our proposal passing 226 for the Noun Square. Beautiful piece, only available for 4 more hours. And as you can see in the pinned tweet there's 2 ways to win in this little sweepstakes. You can either retweet and tag a few friends, and we'll choose one winner of $100 later today, or you can mint one, and one minter will win $100, which is basically almost a rebate on the mint. So those are 2 ways to win on the final countdown contest for Meshup's piece. What else? Oh, yes, we need to tell you or remind you about the Random Acts of Kindness Nouns Give Back contest over on TikTok. Second pin over from the left. Take a look over on TikTok. Same idea as the last time we ran this contest in the fall. Just do something kind. Do something good in your community, wherever that is in the world. Document it and make a little video, put it on TikTok, and tag us at the Noun Square. Or if you speak Spanish, you can tag us at the Noun Square SP. Or if you speak Brazilian Portuguese, you can tag the Noun Square BR. So those are three options that will all get you entered into that contest. Or finally, if TikTok is banned in your region, you can put it up on YouTube and Twitter and tag us here with the same hashtag Nouns Give Back. The main thing is just do kind things. Let's get a kindness wave going across the world. Public goods are nounish. We've said it here many times. And there's also some pretty big prizes up for grabs. A total of $5,000 worth of prizes going out to people who do the most impressive initiatives. So it's exciting.
Awesome.
I think that's everything. Did I miss anything, Ben?
I think that's everything we've got going on.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
Awesome. Why don't you do the POAP RFG and I'll do a retweet picker. And
Sounds good.
And I've got a lucky Nomo as well, and he's real lucky.
Awesome. All right. So POAP is a free NFT we give away every single day here in the Noun. If my mic didn't cut off mid-sentence. There we go. POAP is a free NFT we give away every single day here in the Noun Square. If you don't already have the app downloaded, you can go to poap.xyz, POAP.xyz. Download that application on your mobile device. Once you have it downloaded, you open it up, and then you hit the mint button in the bottom right-hand corner. Then you tap secret word, and today's secret word is Carrot Time 618. That is CARROTTIME 618.
It's carrot time.
Carrot time. Carrot time 618. Yes, it's
Double T
referencing
on
the
the
noun.
carrot.
Double T on the carrot. So carrot time. There's 2 T's. 2 R's and 2 T's. And then we get to play a fun POAP game.
Yes.
I'm in so much pain.
Prove that you are not a robot.
I will not.
Or an impatient human being.
One of those is going to be a lot harder than the other.
All right, we've got a retweet picker. I just need a drum roll.
I've got you one.
Winner for a drum roll. The winner today is Sam Law. samlawYK.bnb at samlawYK. He has the POAP Nomo as his very first tweet of the day today. So
Awesome.
thank you for retweeting the Nomo of the day, Samla, and you have just won 0.069 ETH for retweeting the room earlier when we were starting the show. So thank you for that. We'll make sure that you. And he just retweeted the mesh up one too. He's on a tear. Samla can't be stopped. He's just going to win all the prizes. And we've got a Nomo here as well, a lucky Nomo minter who is going to win a special edition. If you go take a look at the Nomo wallet, you'll see lots of special editions in there from different collections that have been released over the past few weeks. We've been giving those out to lucky Nomo minters just for minting a Nomo. And today's is Airpull91, Puppet91.eth. This is the second time Airpull has won a lucky Nomo, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a pretty interesting wallet. He's got lots of Nomos in there. He's got some NounsDAO editions. He's got some very interesting stuff. So if you are Airpull91, get in touch. You have won a special edition that we will send over to your wallet. That's the lucky Nomo of the day.
Awesome.
And now is that it? I think that's it, except for schedule.
I think that is it. And we do have one more. We do have a last minute addition to the schedule, actually. So it's good that we're talking about this. So after this space, in about an hour and a half from now, a little over that, we've got UNouns, a brand new soapbox. UNouns, United Nations Nouns. I saw Sola in the audience earlier. I don't know if he's still around, but this is actually their launch. The launch of UNouns is happening live on the Noun Square, and I think this might be the first NounsDAO extension that's launched on TNS. That might not be the case, but
first, but not the last, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And every time that Zargs keeps saying that the soapbox schedule is full, we just keep saying, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
We can find one more.
We can rebuild it. We have the technology.
It's like ice cream. It doesn't count as a dessert. It just finds its way into the crevices of your belly. That's how soapboxes work on the Noun Square.
It just makes you denser. Now, so we've got the launch of UNouns. If you haven't seen these traits, they might be some of my favorite Nouns artwork. Amiyoko just killed it with some of these Nouns heads.
What's the premise of UN Nouns?
The purpose of UNouns is United Nations Nouns. So the noun heads represent different aspects of culture of various nations around the world. Things that they're known for, like there's a double-decker bus for England, for instance. There's a giraffe for, I want to say South Africa. Stuff like that. I think there's a burger head for America.
Standard.
I may have seen a bottle of maple syrup head.
For Canada. Yep. So they're a little tropey, but in a fun way. The kind of things you would see in a gift shop, and I love it. And the point of UNouns is, whereas Nouns is focused broadly on proliferation in public goods, UNouns is the mandate is specifically for public goods in specific areas. So like on the ground, we are going to help real people. That is the primary focus of UNouns. It's basically the same as Nouns, but more specific public goods for public people, as opposed to, Nouns frequently public goods is like funding protocol updates and stuff like that, which is public good, but UNouns is specifically for, real people in the real world. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to be there.
You heard it here first from Robot Fistro. Engineers, not real people.
Listen, I am one. I would know.
All right. Awesome. So I can't wait for that. And then after them, we've got Bora.
No. We have one other thing.
What?
It's not on the schedule yet, but we do have House of Nouns Part 2. We don't have an official title for it, so it's not on the schedule yet. We're waiting on that. But at 11:30 a.m., just an hour, pretty much right on the heels of the UNouns space, it'll probably run into it a little bit, is going to be a House of Nouns Part 2 with Digital Oil is going to be on.
Nice.
Couldn't come on for the House of Noun Space last week. Tried to work it in for Friday, couldn't work. Finally got it on the schedule for today at 11:30 a.m. So
And this is to talk about his NounsDAO prop,
Correct.
functional props. Cool.
Yep. So that's at 11:30. Then Bora Brazil at 1:30 p.m. EST.
And then am I mistaken, or do we have another?
We have another
new
first-time soapbox. Mm-hmm.
Oh dear, Zargs is going to kill us.
Yeah. We do. That is Nouns Museum at 3:30 p.m. EST. Tortita, not tortilla, Tony, is going to be has a soapbox all about the Nouns Museum. So that's going to be a good time as well. That's at 3:30 p.m. EST. An hour after that, so right on the heels of that space, is Nouns Esports. Giving an update on all the things going on over there. And there are some pretty significant updates. I think Nouns CS just qualified for another tournament. So they're heading to Mexico in April. And then there was a big Dota match against Shopify the other day. So
they're also going to be streaming again on Twitch today. So
hell cool. Yes. At 6 p.m. is the Little Noun Show where we front ran Cardano. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we've got Akvar on, who's a little nouner and NAS holder. He's pretty active in the space. He's going to be joining us live from Paris, and he's going to speak about his Bitcoin Ordinals project, Original Honey Badgers. Should be fun.
Ooh, oui, Paris. Sounds good.
Oh, boy.
And then 9:30 p.m., we've got the Daily Drop. That's gnarly, a daily space where they mint an extreme sports clip. Is that a good description, Ben?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a daily mint of the highest voted clips on That's Gnarly, which is THATSGAGNA. I don't know what I can't spell today.
It's THATSGNAR.
You know what it
LY.
is? It's 8:30 in the morning.
It's 8:30 in the morning.
We don't do math or spelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's 12:30, like after midnight here. So that's... Yeah, it's definitely...
Oh, so you're just starting to wake up, huh?
Well, no, the last few days I've been back in like my crazy mode I was in like 2 months ago, where apparently I don't sleep anymore.
Anymore. He says as if he ever did.
Well,
all right, rounding out the next 24 hours, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. EST. So probably won't see many of us here in EST up, to be quite frank, but that doesn't matter. It's Twin Day Nouns in Africa. Anyone who's in Europe, in APAC, in Africa, join at that time, EST, 5 a.m. to find out what's going on with Nouns in Africa. And then finally, we'll be back here just after 7 a.m. EST for Noun O'Clock live again tomorrow with Blueprints merch, who's an awesome member of the community who's making Noun Punks and Nouns clothing. So looking forward to speaking with her. I haven't seen Blue in a while, so
I haven't either. I'm excited.
Awesome. All right, I think that might just be everything.
I think that is.
Maybe I
sent you a song, Toady.
You sent me a song. You always do.
Where's
Symbio? Oh, we lost Symbio. I was going to ask him for some alpha. Oh, we lost him there.
Yeah.
I can give one piece of interesting alpha. So many of you have been following along with the Chex saga with the Chex VV editions and the originals from Jack Butcher. First of all, they've recovered quite well and seem to be flying off the shelves. But interestingly enough, at the same time as Jack released Chex, he also released a project called, and I always get this wrong, Opepe edition. So it was an open edition that was a Pepe, basically. And that's where the Bone Pen came from. Boney did a riff on that, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, last night, these were another like $8 mint, I think, at the time. And because I hate money, I didn't mint any of them. But yesterday, Jack Butcher, last night rather, tweeted Opepe PFP. That's all he said. And suddenly they shot up to 0.4 ETH.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So there you go. And he also, as Jack is wont to do, he also changed the metadata on them. They're no longer Pepes; they are now just green circles. So, what is going on, Jack? Is Jack launching a PFP project that he's going to turn into the open? I don't know.
From the makers of Purple DAO comes Green DAO.
Doesn't have the same ring to it. Oh,
No, it doesn't.
It could be Pepe DAO.
Pepe DAO.
Anyway, so that's the main interesting thing that happened in NFTs over the weekend, I would say, is that. So I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's alpha. It's definitely beta now. Alpha was buying it yesterday morning at 0.1 ETH before it went up to 0.45. But yeah, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself, though. I went to bed last night and resisted the urge to FOMO in at 0.4 ETH, and I'm proud of myself for that. Yeah, so I mean, I might not be if they go to like 1 ETH or something, but I guess we'll see. Oh, we do have Symbio here. Symbio, anything to add?
Took me a second to connect there. Just that Meshup's meme burns are running for a full 5 days, I believe. So you may have missed the red burn, but the other 3 that are potentials are running for longer than the 24-hour or the weekend period.
Those are the meme one, and
yeah, so
the ones that
4 tokens, 20 tokens, or 69 tokens.
Who's got 69 meme ignition tokens lying around?
Someone's selling
not even Ben
at
anymore.
$1.32 each. So, but if you
then,
no. Yeah. And then I've seen a surge of a variety of Zorbs over the weekend as well. So I saw an X Zorb, which is all black on black, which is kind of cool. They minted out of 1,500 pieces, but are quite cheap on OpenSea. And there's a Farcaster one as well. The new Warp purple against the old Farcaster purple. And that's currently minting.
And yeah, Ripe created an Pepe Zorgles, Zorb with Noggles.
Of course he did.
So there's lots of these. It's good.
How prolific do you have to be for that to be a reaction that you get with some degree of regularity? Just like, yeah, you would do that.
Ripe always be creating stuff. So
yeah.
All right, that's it for 9 o'clock live number 252 here at the Noun Square. Thank you everybody for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you on some of our other shows today. If you're new here, please give us a follow on the clock. We do spaces all day long, every day,
especially
about things, about CC0, about all those types of things. So give us a follow here and come along for the ride. Thomas, thank you for taking the time to tell us about Prysm, soon to be lore, and look forward to hearing more about it for our purposes at Ugly, and hopefully others who are listening in will say, hey, I have a squad, and I'd like to find out more about this too.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks so much, man.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us at like 5 a.m. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I didn't realize how early it was for you. You're a trooper.
Most of the time, most of the people we've been inviting, when we find out they're PST, they're like,
just dip.
Yeah, call me in a month or two when you're in a normal time. But
Cardno does most of our scheduling and has been suffering through that.
Yeah, me and Ben. Ben's been picking up a sock, to be fair to him.
I've been trying to wake up early every day, so this is a good forcing function.
All right.
Oh, great. Well, then we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
we do this every day.
Huh?
Every day. Thanks, everyone.
I can't tell if this is about the Noun RFG or if it's about the guy who's botting us.
It's about both the Noun and the Nomo. They're both watches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a U-level joke.
Not. Rockwell's even wearing the same suit that the watch is
Yeah.
in this video.
Need to fire a few POAP times over top of this.
Yeah, chords don't work.
We need the other one. Pull-up time.
FOMO time.
Close enough. Thanks for joining, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Noun Square. Have a good week.